Hello, thank you for joining me as I read Luke 14, starting at verse 8, and I am in the Tyndale version. If you are invited to a wedding feast, don't always head for the best seat. For if someone more respected shows up, the host will bring him over to where you are sitting and say, "Let this man sit here instead." And you, embarrassed, will have to take whatever seat is left at the foot of the table. Do this instead. Start at the foot. And when your host sees you, he will come and say, "Friend, we have a better place than this for you." Thus, you will be honored in front of all the other guests. For everyone who tries to honor himself shall be humbled, and he who humbles himself shall be honored. Then he turned to the host. "When you put on a dinner," he said, "don't invite friends, brothers, relatives, and rich neighbors, for they will return the invitation. Instead, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Then at the resurrection, Yahweh will reward you for inviting those who can't repay you." Hallelujah. Thank you, Yahweh. Hearing this, a man sitting at the table with Yeshua exclaimed, "What a privilege it would be to get into the kingdom of Yahweh." And Yeshua replied with this illustration. A man prepared a great feast, and he sent out many invitations. When all was ready, he sent his servants around to notify the guests that it was time for them to arrive. But they all began making excuses. One said he had just bought a field and wanted to inspect it and asked to be excused. Another said he had just bought 5 pair of oxen and wanted to try them out. Another had just been married and for that reason could not come. The servant returned and reported to his master what they had said. His master was angry and told him to quickly go into the streets and the alleys of the city and to invite the beggars, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. But even then there was still room. "Well then," said his master, "go out into the country lanes and out behind the hedges and urge everyone you find to come so that the house will be full. For none of those I invited first will even get the smallest taste of what I have prepared for them." Great crowds were following him. He turned around and addressed them as follows. "Anyone who wants to be my follower must love me far more than he does." Let me try again. Luke 14, verse 26. "Anyone who wants to be my follower must love me far more than he does his own father, mother, wife, children, brothers, or sisters. Yes, more than his own life. Otherwise, he cannot be my disciple. And no one can be my disciple who does not carry his own cross and follow me. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first getting estimates, then checking to see if he has enough money to pay the bills? Otherwise, he might complete only the foundation before running out of funds. And then how everyone would laugh. See that fellow there, they would mock. He started that building and ran out of money before it was even finished. Or what king would ever dream of going to war without first sitting down with his counselors and discussing whether his army of 10,000 is strong enough to beat the 20,000 men that are marching against him? If the decision is negative, then while the enemy troops are still far away, he will send a truce team to discuss terms of peace. So no one can become my disciple unless he first sits down and counts his blessings and then renounces them all for me. Did you hear that? Did you read that right? Rewind it. Reread it. Re-say it again. Luke 14 verse 33. So no one can become my disciple unless he first sits down and counts all his blessings and then renounces them all for me. What good is salt that has lost its saltiness? Flavorless salt is fit for nothing, not even for fertilizer. It is worthless and must be thrown out. Listen well if you would understand my meaning. Hallelujah. Thank you for your word, Yahweh. Your will be done.